Welcome to another journey of wisdom, power, and silent influence. If you've ever wondered what truly makes a man irresistible, not just attractive in fleeting moments but compelling in a way that leaves a lasting mark, you're in the right place. Today, we'll explore how your words, rooted in Stoic philosophy, can make you captivating to women, without manipulation, without games, but through profound self-mastery. Because words, my friend, are not merely sounds, they are carriers of intention, of presence, of energy. And when those words spring from a place of deep integrity, clarity, and wisdom, they cut through superficiality like a sharp blade through silk. So, let's dive deep. 1. The irresistible power of words. In a world drowning in noise, where conversations race, opinions clash, and words are thrown like careless darts, the man who masters his speech stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. The ancient Stoics knew this truth. They understood that words are not simply sounds carried by the wind. Words are the visible shape of your invisible mind. They are the tools through which your inner world is revealed to others, whether you intend it or not. And a man who chooses his words wisely shapes not only his relationships, but his reality. The Stoic concept of logos teaches us that reason and rationality govern the cosmos. Everything has its place, its function, its purpose. And language, our words, are the instruments through which logos manifests in human interaction. Your words are your sword. Use them recklessly, and you wound yourself. Use them wisely, and you command a room without raising your voice. So, why do words hold such irresistible power, especially in the subtle dance between a man and a woman? Because words do three crucial things. Keycap 1. They reveal character. The way you speak reveals who you are long before your actions do. A man who speaks from a place of self-respect, calm authority, and steady confidence projects strength. A man who rambles, pleads, or over-explains projects insecurity. Women, whether consciously or instinctively, pick up on this faster than you can imagine. Your words betray your inner world. A Stoic man knows this. He uses words not to impress, but to express who he is. And because he is disciplined in mind, his words radiate control, depth, and quiet confidence. Keycap 2. They build or destroy bridges. Every interaction you have is a bridge. You can build it, strengthen it, or burn it, and words are the tools with which you do so. Consider this. A careless comment, a thoughtless joke, or a needy plea can undo hours, days, or even years of silent attraction. Likewise, a single well-placed phrase, a measured response, or a deeply reflective observation can spark intrigue where none existed before. A Stoic man chooses his words the way a sculptor chooses his chisel, patiently, intentionally, and with an image in mind. Keycap 3. They shape perception. Reality is filtered through perception, and perception is largely shaped by language. The words you choose create the frame through which people experience you. Speak like a man of wisdom, and you will be treated as one. Speak like a man of insecurity, and you will be overlooked. Women are especially attuned to this. They're not attracted solely to looks, status, or possessions. They're drawn to a man's presence, and your words are the clearest window into that presence. If your words carry calm, certainty, depth, and clarity, you'll be perceived as high value without ever needing to announce it. And here lies the secret. Irresistibility is not about being agreeable. It's about being aligned. Women don't fall for empty flattery or rehearsed pick-up lines. They're drawn to a man whose words resonate because those words reflect a man who knows who he is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, your language reveals the tint of your mind. A mind sharpened by wisdom, discipline, and reflection naturally produces words of power. And that, my friend, is the foundation of irresistibility. Not manipulation. Not theatrics. Presence. Precision. Purpose. Words are the clothes thoughts wear. Choose their fit wisely. In the next part of this journey, we'll dive deep into the core Stoic principles behind irresistible communication, the 4 virtues every man should live by if he wishes to leave an unforgettable impression without speaking more, but by speaking better. Stay with me. 2. The core Stoic principles behind irresistible communication. Before you master what to say, you must master the why behind it. Stoicism isn't about fancy phrases or manipulative tricks, it's about speaking from a place of unshakable inner alignment. The ancient Stoics believed that communication should be guided by virtue, not vanity. When you align your words with Stoic principles, you naturally command respect, attention, and curiosity. At the heart of Stoic wisdom are 4 cardinal virtues, timeless qualities that should shape not just how you live, but how you speak. Let's break them down. Keycap 1. Wisdom. Say only what you know to be true or useful. A Stoic doesn't engage in gossip, flattery, or idle talk. Wisdom means you speak only when your words improve the moment or bring clarity to a situation. You resist the temptation to speak merely to fill silence or to impress others. Irresistible men aren't chatterboxes. They're calm observers who, when they speak, offer value. Before you speak, silently ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this kind? If it fails any of those, stay silent. Keycap 2. Courage. Speak your mind, without fear or aggression. True strength is found in calm honesty. A Stoic man isn't afraid to voice a boundary, a belief, or a truth, even if it's uncomfortable. But he does so without arrogance or hostility. Courage means standing firm in your values and expressing them with clarity. Most people dilute their speech to avoid conflict or seek approval. A man who calmly speaks his truth without posturing or begging to be liked stands out immediately. He radiates internal strength. Example. If you disagree with someone, calmly say, I see it differently, and here's why. No need to argue, no need to convince, just state your view. Keycap 3. Justice. Speak to uplift, protect, or preserve fairness. Irresistible communication isn't about domination. It's about integrity. Justice means your words should never belittle, manipulate, or harm without cause. It's the virtue that ensures your charisma doesn't turn predatory. Women, and people in general, sense when someone uses words as a weapon or a shield. A man who speaks fairly and with care for others' dignity commands quiet admiration. If someone's being insulted in a group, and you step in to redirect the conversation gracefully, or assert, let's keep it constructive, you immediately elevate your standing in others' eyes. Keycap 4. Temperance. Speak with moderation. Avoid extremes. Stoics believed in balance. Temperance in speech means avoiding exaggeration, gossip, and emotional outbursts. You resist the urge to over-explain, overpraise, or overshare. Scarcity creates value. A man who measures his words carefully, who doesn't rush to fill every silence or narrate every detail, builds mystery and presence. In communication, less can often mean more. The next time you feel compelled to over-justify a decision or explain your feelings endlessly, stop. Say what's essential. Let silence carry the rest. When these 4 principles, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, guide your speech, something fascinating happens. You stop chasing validation. Your words begin to carry weight. You attract deeper conversations and more meaningful connections. People, including women, naturally lean in when you speak, because rare is the man today who speaks from virtue. And when you become one, your presence alone alters the atmosphere of every room you enter. That, my friend, is irresistible. 3. Words that radiate presence. This section is about understanding not just what to say, but how to say it in a way that instantly captures attention, commands respect, and draws others, especially women, toward you. It's about words that aren't loud, flashy, or overly clever, but words spoken with presence. Calm, intentional, confident energy behind them. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes that true power doesn't come from trying to impress others, but from standing firmly in who you are. And your words should reflect that. In this part, we broke down 4 categories of phrases and verbal attitudes that radiate that inner power and presence. Small blue diamond 1. The confident assertion. These are phrases you say with calm, unapologetic certainty. Not aggressive. Not defensive. Just clear statements of your beliefs, preferences, and boundaries. Example. I trust my instincts on this. That doesn't align with my values. Why it works? Because women, and people in general, are drawn to those who speak without seeking approval. These phrases show you have a strong internal compass, which signals high value. Small blue diamond 2. The authentic compliment. Most compliments are shallow and performative. But when you make an observation that touches on someone's essence or energy, not just their appearance, it lands deeper. Instead of saying, "You look beautiful," you say, "There's something about the way you carry yourself today." It's rare. Because it's not about flattery, it's about recognition. You're observing something unique and genuine, which makes the other person feel seen, not sized up. Small blue diamond 3. The philosophical reflection. This is where you introduce depth into conversations without sounding preachy. Reflecting on life's subtleties or mysteries shows that you think beyond surface-level chatter. Examples. Funny how the simplest moments become the ones you remember most. I've always believed that silence says more than words. It reveals that you're contemplative and grounded, qualities associated with wisdom and emotional maturity. That's irresistibly attractive to people who crave depth in a shallow world. Small blue diamond 4. The boundary setter. A Stoic man sets boundaries not by issuing ultimatums, but through calm, respectful clarity. Examples. I value honesty, so if something's bothering you, let's address it openly. I'm not comfortable with that, and I hope you'll respect it. Because you're communicating self-respect without aggression. A man who calmly asserts his boundaries communicates security, strength, and emotional discipline. 4. The importance of silence. One of the most overlooked, yet profoundly powerful tools in a man's communication is silence. In the modern world, people often fear silence. They rush to fill it with noise, with words, explanations, reassurances, and meaningless chatter. But a Stoic man understands that silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning. The ancient Stoics revered silence as a mark of wisdom and self-command. Seneca, one of Rome's great philosophers, once wrote, "Speech is silver, but silence is golden." Why? Because silence isn't passive. It's an active assertion of control. When you remain silent, especially in moments where others expect you to speak, you subtly shift the balance of power. You're no longer reacting to the environment. You become the environment. Why silence makes a man irresistible. Women, whether consciously or not, are drawn to men who possess internal stability. A man who can sit comfortably in silence radiates strength, confidence, and calm authority. Why? Because silence implies 3 key things. Emotional control. You're not ruled by the impulse to fill the void. You choose when and if to speak. Comfort with yourself. Those desperate for external validation struggle with silence. The man at ease in silence shows he doesn't need approval. Mystery and intrigue. When you speak less, people naturally wonder what you're thinking. You become unpredictable. And in human psychology, unpredictability creates fascination. The strategic use of silence in conversation. Pause before you respond. A brief pause, even a single second, before you reply to a question or comment dramatically increases the perceived weight of your response. People lean in. They pay attention. Hold space during tension. When conversations turn awkward, emotional, or tense, most people babble to relieve the discomfort. But the Stoic man holds his ground. He lets the moment stretch. and in that stillness, respect is born. Let others speak first. When you remain silent, others will fill the space. In doing so, they often reveal more than they intended. This gives you insight and keeps you in control of the social dynamic. How to cultivate powerful silence. Silence isn't about withdrawing. It's about choosing your moments. Here's how to master it. Practice mindful pauses. In everyday conversation, delay your responses intentionally. Breathe. Let your thoughts settle before you answer. Embrace solitude. Spend time alone without distractions. This strengthens your comfort with silence internally, making it effortless externally. Observe more than you speak. In social settings, adopt the role of the observer. Speak when your words add value, not to fill air. Use silence as emphasis. A pause after a meaningful statement lets its weight sink in. For example, I value honesty. Always. Then hold a beat. Let the silence punctuate the importance of your words. A Stoic perspective. The ultimate test. The ultimate test of inner strength is your ability to remain silent when you're provoked, you're flattered, you're challenged. The weak man reacts. The Stoic man chooses. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. And often, being unlike means being silent. A practical exercise. Here's a simple, powerful practice for the next time you're in conversation with a woman, or anyone you wish to command presence with. When asked a question, count to 2 internally before answering. If a moment of awkward silence occurs, resist the urge to fill it. Observe the discomfort shift to the other person. When tempted to defend, explain, or justify yourself unnecessarily, stay silent. Notice how your presence changes. Notice how others respond. In the end, silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of mastery. And that, my friend, is irresistible. What is the energy behind the words? It means that communication isn't just about what you say, but how you say it, and more importantly, the energy, intention, and emotional state you carry while saying it. In other words, the silent signals you're constantly sending through your tone, body language, and presence shape how your words land more than the actual words themselves. The Stoics believed that mastery of the self would naturally shape the quality of one's expressions. They understood that a calm, balanced inner state radiates outward, and people, especially women, subconsciously detect this. Why it matters in attraction and influence. You could say the most beautiful, charming, or profound sentence, but if your tone is anxious, rushed, weak, or unsure, the message will fall flat. On the other hand, a simple statement delivered with poise, stillness, and quiet confidence can feel deeply compelling. This is because humans respond instinctively to nonverbal cues. Your tone of voice, the pacing of your words, your eye contact, the micro-expressions on your face, your posture and stillness. These signals reveal your internal state far more honestly than your vocabulary ever could. Breaking it down. The Stoic approach. Keycap 1 tone. A Stoic man speaks with a calm, steady voice, never too eager, never overly emotional. Even when passionate or intense, his tone remains grounded. This conveys control, and women instinctively trust a man who sounds in control of himself. Keycap 2 pacing. Never rush. A man who feels he must hurry his words betrays insecurity or a desire for approval. The confident man knows his words carry weight, and he allows silence between sentences. This builds intrigue and subtle dominance in the conversation. Keycap 3 eye contact. Hold it, but gently, without aggression or seeking validation. Steady, relaxed eye contact signals confidence and presence. A man who can maintain this without blinking away or nervously adjusting his gaze radiates quiet power. Keycap 4 posture and stillness. Your words should be supported by a composed body. Avoid fidgeting, adjusting, or excessive gesturing. Stillness communicates self-command. As the Stoics taught, a man must be the master of his body, and by extension, his presence. The deeper layer, intention. Even if you master tone and posture, your intention behind the words matters most. Are you speaking to impress? To get something? To fill silence? Or are you speaking because your words are necessary, valuable, and a reflection of your internal wisdom? Women, consciously or not, sense this. And nothing is more magnetic than a man whose words arise from self-respect and clarity rather than neediness or performance. Practical exercise. Silent energy practice. Here's a quick exercise you can practice any time. Sit still for 2 minutes. Focus on your breathing. Steady, unforced. Now, speak a simple sentence like, "I am exactly where I'm meant to be." Observe the difference in your voice, the weight of your words, and your body's stillness. Do this daily. Your energy behind the words will naturally begin to shift. A Stoic's true power isn't in how clever or poetic he sounds, but in how his words carry the unmistakable weight of a man who owns himself. When your energy, calm, clear, intentional, aligns with your words, you don't need to be verbose. Every glance, every pause, every phrase will carry irresistible gravity. 6. Words to avoid, the weak man's language. In Stoic philosophy, self-mastery and inner stability are paramount. Words are not just sounds, they're indicators of your inner world. When you speak from a place of lack, you project that lack outward. When you speak from fullness, self-assurance, and calm strength, people feel it. Weak language reveals an uncentered man. And women, consciously or subconsciously, detect it instantly. "Do you think I'm good enough?" Signals self-doubt and external validation seeking. Stoic alternative. "I know my worth, and I walk in alignment with it." "I hope I didn't upset you." Implies you're afraid of conflict or disapproval, making her emotions your responsibility. Stoic alternative. "If something I said troubled you, we can address it calmly." "I need you to be happy." Suggests emotional dependence and that your peace relies on another's mood. Stoic alternative. "Your emotions are your own, as mine are mine." "I support you, but I own my peace." A Stoic man speaks from internal stability, not external reaction. Weak language often begs for approval, shifts responsibility, reveals emotional fragility, prioritizes comfort over truth. And those are repellent traits, not irresistible ones. The Stoic upgrade. When you feel the urge to say something weak, pause. Check in with yourself. Is this coming from fear or strength? Am I seeking approval or expressing truth? Am I owning my reality or outsourcing it? Then adjust. Because every word you speak is either a reflection of your sovereignty or a surrender of it. Weak. Would it be okay if I shared something? Stoic. I have a thought I'd like to offer. Weak. I hope you don't mind, but... Stoic. This is important for me to say. See the difference? The first seeks permission. The second claims space with respect. 7. Everyday practice. Cultivating your language. It's one thing to understand the language of Stoic strength and irresistibility. It's another to live it daily. This part emphasizes that words are habits, and like any habit, they need to be consciously cultivated through regular practice. Why? Because under stress, emotion, or attraction, people tend to default to what they've rehearsed most. If you haven't trained your language to reflect confidence, clarity, and inner peace, you'll slip into weak, approval-seeking patterns when it matters most. 3 simple, powerful daily practices. Keycap 1 morning intention setting. When you wake up, take a minute to reflect. What kind of man do I intend to be today? What would a grounded Stoic man say in the situations I'll likely face? This primes your mind to respond with strength, not impulse. Example. Instead of mindlessly jumping into conversations, you enter them as the man you envisioned: calm, measured, firm. Keycap 2: the triple filter before speaking. Before saying anything, silently run it through these 3 questions, inspired by Socrates and embraced by Stoics. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind or constructive? If it fails any of these, stay silent or rephrase. This cultivates restraint, elevating the value of every word you speak. Keycap 3: evening reflection and journaling. At the end of the day, grab a notebook or app and ask yourself, what words did I use today that aligned with my strongest self? Where did I slip into weak or reactionary language? What situation tomorrow could test me, and what would my highest self say? This strengthens self-awareness and ensures daily growth. Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about daily progress. By practicing intentional language daily, you build discipline over your impulses. Anchor yourself in inner value rather than external approval. Become a man whose very words command quiet respect and subtle attraction. Over time, this practice rewires your instinctual language. In moments of stress, you'll default not to needy phrases but to calm, self-assured, magnetic communication. 8. The irresistible effect of listening well. If words have power, silence paired with focused listening is a weapon. The ancient Stoics understood something modern men often overlook. True influence isn't just about what you say, it's about how well you listen. Epictetus reminded his students, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." A man who listens intently, not just waiting to reply but genuinely absorbing what's said, does 3 powerful things. Keycap 1: he makes the speaker feel seen. Most people crave attention but rarely receive true presence. When you give a woman or anyone your undivided, judgment-free attention, it creates an instant, subconscious pull. She feels valued, not because you're flattering her, but because you're offering the rare experience of being fully heard. That alone makes you unforgettable. Keycap 2: he gains strategic information. A Stoic listens not only for what's said, but for what's unsaid. Tone, hesitation, word choice, or emotional undertones reveal more than facts. By practicing active, quiet listening, you learn what matters to others, their insecurities, desires, and what moves them. You then choose your words and responses with precision, speaking only what's necessary, powerful, and aligned with your higher self. Keycap 3: he commands respect without effort. A man who listens well radiates confidence. Why? Because only insecure men dominate conversations to prove worth. The grounded man sits comfortably in silence, allowing others to reveal themselves while he watches, learns, and selects his words like a master swordsman chooses when to strike. Practical Stoic exercise. Today, in every conversation, practice a 3-second pause before responding. During that pause, truly hear what was said. Reflect. Does this require a response? Or is silence the greater reply? If you speak, let it be precise, calm, and firm. Over time, you'll notice people begin seeking your opinion more, respecting your quiet authority, and feeling drawn to your presence. 9. The subtle art of framing conversations. If you wish to influence others, not through manipulation, but through quiet authority, you must master the art of framing conversations. What is framing? It's the silent structure that shapes how a conversation is interpreted. Most men react to frames set by others. The Stoic man subtly guides them. Marcus Aurelius observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And conversations are no exception. Keycap 1: the frame you enter. Most people unconsciously accept the emotional frame set by others. If someone is anxious, defensive, or combative, they pull you into their energy. The Stoic man resists this. Instead, he holds his own emotional frame, calm, steady, curious. By doing so, The other person often adjusts to match your energy, not the other way around. Example: if a woman tests you with sarcasm or coldness, most men either react with defensiveness or overcompensating charm. A Stoic might simply pause, smile subtly, and say, "Interesting. Is that how you usually break the ice?" In one sentence, you gently reframe the encounter as playful, under your terms. Keycap 2: Asking framing questions. The quickest way to shift a conversational frame is with a well-placed question. Questions like, "What makes you say that?" "How do you usually handle situations like this?" "Do you believe that's always true?" These gently force people to examine their own positions, often softening their stance or revealing deeper motives. Most conversations ride on autopilot. A man who asks reflective, open-ended questions instantly changes the dynamic, making others pause and reconsider. Keycap 3: Leading with assumptions. Another powerful framing tool is leading with calm, unspoken assumptions about yourself and the interaction. For instance, assume attraction is mutual without arrogance. Assume respect is natural. Assume the conversation is meant to be light, meaningful, or enjoyable. Without stating it outright, your body language, tone, and phrasing reflect these assumptions. And people, subconsciously, tend to align with the frames you quietly lead. Practical Stoic exercise. For the next week, practice entering every conversation with this silent internal mantra. I am the calm center of this interaction. I choose the frame. Notice how situations shift. Notice how women lean in, not because you dominate, but because you direct without force. In the end, it was never just about the words. It was about the man behind them. A man whose speech is steady because his soul is steady. A man whose words are few, yet each carries the weight of thought, intention, and self-respect. A man who doesn't speak to impress but to express what is necessary, what is true, and what uplifts both himself and those around him. The ancient Stoics taught us that the quality of a man's life mirrors the quality of his inner dialogue. The words you speak to others are simply echoes of the words you've been speaking to yourself. If you master your internal narrative, if you align your language with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you become irresistible not because you chase validation, but because you radiate something rare: presence, clarity, unshakable calm. And in a world of noise, distraction, and shallow exchanges, that is power beyond measure. If you found value in this message, remember, wisdom only matters if it's alive. Take these words. Test them. Practice silence. Choose depth over decoration. Set boundaries with grace. And most importantly, build the kind of inner life where your words become sacred, deliberate tools. And if you'd like to continue this journey of mastering yourself, cultivating presence, and quietly reshaping the world around you, subscribe to this channel. New videos are added every week, offering timeless Stoic wisdom, modern strategies, and the ancient art of leading without force. Until next time, hold the line. Stay calm. Speak wisely. And carry yourself like the man you were meant to become.